Hey, Mike! Congratulations! Yeah, I heard about it. Nobody deserves it more than you. Okay, I'll see you in a moment. You're here to say your dad. Ready?
All rise. The special proceeding of the Commonwealth Courts is now in session. From the U.S. District Court, the Honorable Ramona V. Manglonia, Chief Judge.
From the Superior Court, the Honorable Lillian Ada Tenorio, Associate Judge. The Honorable Teresa Kim Tenorio, Associate Judge. The Honorable Kenneth L. Govendo, Associate Judge. And participating live from Central Hostisia Rhoda is the presiding judge, Roberto C. Naraha.
From the Supreme Court, the Honorable John A. Manglonia, Associate Justice, and the Honorable Alexandru C. Costru, Chief Justice, presiding. Please be seated. Please be seated.
Buenas, Hafadays and Tiruwami, Your Honors, honored guests, mock trial team, I believe they're here, and staff. 35 years ago today, the third branch of our government began to take shape as a fair arbiter of our Constitution and laws, and as an independent and co-equal branch of government. Our mission to protect and nurture the rule of law on Saipan, Tinian, Rhoda, and the islands north of Saipan. This mission is particularly challenging when external forces attempt to dictate how the courts should handle procedural and substantive issues. It is important to note that and recognize that the judiciary of the Commonwealth is guided by decisions of the United States Supreme Court, as well as precedents from circuit and state courts. I am pleased to report that our judiciary has excelled in remaining impartial and not being drawn into the political currents of our Commonwealth. Likewise, we went through typhoons, Guma Hustisia air conditioner breakdown, COVID-19 pandemic, and today, fiscal crisis. I thank our Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Senate President, and members of the Senate, House Speaker, and members of the House for their untiring support to the third and sometimes forgotten arm of this government. With that, I now call upon Justice Manglonia.
Buenas and good morning, everyone. Here in the Guma Hustisia and the Rhoda Central Hustisia, I think they're tuning in. Mike and Rose White, buenas, your children and your grandchildren. Chief Justice Jose S. de la Cruz and Roxanne, your daughter is here. Thank you for joining us. Anthony Taylor and Mrs. Jessica Taylor, good morning. Mike Miguel de Mapan, and I believe Franny is joining us later. Franny de Mapan. We have the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Edmund Villagomez, the senators also, Senator Dennis Mendiola and Senator Jude of Rhoda and Senator Jude Hushnider from Tinian, Jesus Masi. CNMI Bar President Charity Hudson, I see you're there. Thank you so much. Humanities Council representatives, they have been so helpful to the judiciary over the years. We have Gretchen Smith, Dr. Bobby Cruz, and also Leo Pangilinan. On Rhoda, we have San Paulo Elementary School students. I think we have about 50 students witnessing this event, along with Rhoda Mayor Aubrey Hokuk. We have HPO Director J.D. Palacios and Ms. Murdy Kani. Sizus Masi for your partnership with the judiciary's events today. MHS mock trial team, they just returned from the national competition in Delaware. They're all here in the front row in the gallery. And of course, our overworked judiciary leadership and staff, they're all here. Sizus Masi. And I hope I didn't miss anyone. HPO, yes. So since the beginning of the year, the judiciary has hosted various events to commemorate the 35th anniversary of the Judicial Reorganization Act, which established the Supreme Court and the Superior Court back in 1989. Some of these events included a conversation on the Constitution, treatment court, community outreach, justices and judges in the classroom, an appellate session at the Cotintinian courthouse tours with, I think, nearly 1,000 students over the past few months visited us. And we had an attorney admission ceremony. The justices and judges and staff went out on radio and television talk shows. We had a moot court competition, and just last week we had Judge Leo's investiture ceremony. So there were a lot of activities that the judiciary reached out to the community. So, and today again, we continue with our 35th anniversary with three ceremonies. First is the Supreme Court Hustisia Award, and then we have the unveiling of the 4 Chief Justices' portraits. And we've been planning this for quite a long time, and I'm glad it's coming, it's happening today. And the third event is the Judiciary History Timeline Project. And one of the reasons for the Timeline Project is that in courthouse tours and in our visits to the schools, we notice that the school children are not too familiar with the judiciary leadership as well as the leadership of the other branches. And so hopefully the exhibit outside will aid them in getting to know more about our branches of government, just the basics. So we hope that, I think the next group of students will be coming here a week from now. We have about 100 students from one of the elementary schools visiting next Friday. So we'll see how the exhibits go. So now we turn to a very special event, and that is the Supreme Court Hustisia Award. The Hustisia Award is not an annual presentation. In fact, the Supreme Court has only awarded this prize twice. The first one was to a journalist who linked the judiciary with the public, and that journalist was Ferdie de la Torre. And the second award was presented to civil engineer Elizabeth Balajadia because she assisted the judiciary in the HVAC program, in the mold remediation, and in other projects of the judiciary. She really kept this building open just 2 or 3 years ago. So we awarded Liz this prestige, we call it a prestigious award. So in commemoration of the 35th anniversary, this year the Supreme Court has decided to bestow the award to a member of the NMI Bar Association or a member of the broader legal community who has shown dedication to the principles of justice and a commitment to service. The recipient must have had substantial contributions to the legal community, legal profession, showing a level of dedication above what is required in the normal course of work. This award acknowledges not only achievements, but also celebrates the commitment to upholding the principles of justice that are the bedrock of our society. And it is my pleasure to announce that the Supreme Court has selected Mr. Michael A. White to receive this 35th anniversary award. And please give him a round of applause. And the husband of Rose T. Camacho, and the father of 5 children, and I think blessed with many grandchildren. Is there a great-grandchild or children, Mike? Not yet? Okay, good. So Mike has amassed a lifetime of experiences that demonstrates his legal excellence. He received a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from Penn State and a Juris Doctorate from Temple University in Pennsylvania. Mike came out to Micronesia as a Peace Corps volunteer in 1970, over 50 years ago. And he later became a staff attorney for the Congress of Micronesia. In 1975, he opened a law practice on Saipan, I think along with Judge Govendo. Did you join Mike? Or maybe not. I was thinking of Chief Justice Taylor. But anyway, Mike continues to operate his law office up until the present day. I know his law office pretty well because I worked with him as a law partner back in the early 1990s, but your selection today had nothing to do with our prior relationship, I promise. And I believe it is the oldest law office in the Marianas. Mike's contributions to the legal profession extend far beyond the confines of his practice. He became a lawyer representative for the Ninth Circuit Judicial Conference and co-founded the Northern Marianas Bar Association in 1980. Mike was one of the early leaders of the bar. He served as the first president, playing a significant role in shaping the legal profession here in the islands. Mike was a member of the National Conference of Bar Presidents Executive Council for 3 years before becoming the chair of the Committee on Articles and Bylaws in 1999. By the year 2000, he became a fellow of the American Bar Foundation, a title he holds for life. He is a member of various committees imparting his knowledge and wisdom garnered over time for the betterment of the legal community. These, among other positions he has held, showcase not only his legal excellence, but a testament to his leadership. Mike strengthened his collaboration with the courts by sitting as the chairman of the NMI Supreme Court's Advisory Committee on Civil Procedure and Appellate Rules, bench bar committee member for many years, and has been an active member of even the U.S. District Court for the NMI's Advisory Committee on Local Civil Rules. And even when not a part of the committee, Mike would provide comments on proposed rules that we would submit to the legislature to ensure that we provide the best guidance possible for our attorneys and for our community. And then Mike was a bench member from 1995 to the year 2001 when he served as a CNMI special judge, displaying his legal acumen in court. Additionally, he became the vice chairman of the Law Revision Commission, contributing significantly to the clarity and effectiveness of our legal framework by reviewing and helping to update existing laws for the use of legal professionals, policymakers, and the community. There's still more. I have a page 3. We're trying to justify Mike this Hustisia Award. And Mike has devoted his time to promote legal education and awareness as evidenced in his service as a panelist for the Judicial Conference Enforcement of Foreign Judgments panel and the NMI District Court's Conference on Ethics and Professionalisms about clients' trust accounts panel. Mike is also always familiar. He was a familiar face among the judiciary's various outreach programs. As he consistently champions community outreach and collaboration with the courts. He continues to volunteer for the court's moot court program and mock trial program, participating as a coach and a judge, to provide students with valuable critique in preparation for the national competitions. In fact, just 3 weeks ago, Micah saw photos and a video of you sitting right here for nearly 3 hours. That was just 3 weeks ago, judging the scrimmage between Marianas High School in the front row there and Guam's Father Duenas Memorial School. This was just 3 weeks ago. Thank you, Mike, for devoting, I believe it was a Saturday or some after school when you volunteered? Yeah. So Mike is no stranger to community service. Over the past 2 decades, he has served as president of the Northern Marianas Sports Association, and would you believe it, he was an honorary counsel for Vanuatu also. He was an attorney of the year. He was Gimme 5 Program Pro Bono Service Award recipient in 2000. He was a foster parent of the year. Mike, I did not know that, but that's really a precious, really good foster parent. And this displays your tenacity to community service. Oh, it's my granddaughter. In 2003, he was the recipient of the Saipan Chamber of Commerce Humanitarian Award, which acknowledges individuals who demonstrate their dedication to fostering civic engagement. A lot of us, I'm sure, do not know the extent of Mike's involvement in the legal profession and in the community. And some of these awards I wasn't even aware, and I was his law partner. So Mike, the final item, though, is your dedication to the Humanities Council, and I'm glad the 3 members, representatives of the Humanities Council are here. You were a chairman, I believe, and also an officer for many years of that council. So the list of volunteerism and care for his island community goes on and on. I did not include a host of other contributions that he has made. So Mike, the Supreme Court and the Judiciary extend a heartfelt congratulations for an award well earned. This award is a testament to your contributions to the islands, and we are immensely grateful for your efforts in fostering community engagement between the public, the Bar Association, and the courts. And now I ask the members of the bench to please proceed to the well to present the awards to Mr. Michael A. White, Attorney at Law. Before Mike speaks, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Franny Devapan and I thought I saw Mrs. Govendo, Domi Govendo in the back. Okay. All right, Mike.
Instructs us, justice, justice, you shall pursue. It's not an easy lesson to follow. Sometimes pursuing justice isn't popular. Sometimes it makes our lives difficult. But even with these challenges, this principle is and must be our guiding light, not just as lawyers and judges, but as responsible human beings. The principle is simple. Do the right thing, even if it's not the easy thing to do. The command to pursue justice is not directed just to us as individuals. Each of us must make our own small contributions. But in order to pursue justice, we need to work together. If we do, our individual efforts are multiplied, and we can do things collectively that we could never accomplish individually. An important part of the pursuit of justice is giving back. Each of us in the legal profession was given the intelligence and the opportunity to graduate from university and from law school and to succeed in our chosen profession. But as the saying goes, to whom much is given, much is expected. One of the ways we can pursue justice is by giving back. When we volunteer to serve, we make our profession better and our society stronger. That's one important way that each of us can fulfill our obligation to pursue justice. I'm deeply grateful for this award that I'm given today. I want to thank the justices and judges of our courts for this tremendous honor, truly the honor of a lifetime, and especially to my wife Rose and to my family for putting up with me all these years, especially when my devotion to the law and my devotion to my family compete for my time and attention. And for anyone who thinks that this is a retirement speech, think again. I'm not done pursuing justice yet. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Congratulations again. And now we proceed to the second part of our ceremony, and we have the Acting Director of Court and Deputy Counsel for the Judiciary, Matthew Brown.
So let's have one more round of applause for Mr. White, please. So like Justice Manglonia just said, we'll be now moving on to the second portion of today's ceremony, which will be the unveiling of the Chief Justice, Supreme Court, and Superior Court portraits. These portraits will honor the Chief Justices who have helped forge the judiciary that stands before you celebrating the 35th anniversary. Additionally, the Supreme Court and Superior Court portraits will memorialize the justices and judges who are on the bench at this special anniversary. So first, we have the Superior Court portrait picturing Presiding Judge Roberto C. Naraha, Associate Judge Kenneth L. Govendo, Associate Judge Joseph N. Camacho, Associate Judge Teresa K. Kim Tenorio, and our newest Associate Judge Lilian A. Tenorio. And next, we have the Supreme Court portrait picturing the Chief Justice Alexander C. Castro, the Associate Justice John A. Manglonia, and Associate Justice Perry B. Enos. So we'll now move on to unveiling the Chief Justice portraits. We begin with the first Chief Justice of the CNMI Supreme Court, Jose S. De La Cruz, who served as Chief Justice from 1989 to 1995. Before becoming Chief Justice, he served as Associate Judge for the trial court from 1985 to 1989. Chief Justice De La Cruz was instrumental in spearheading the construction of the building we are standing in here today, the Guma Justicia. In fact, Chief Justice de la Cruz authored the very first opinion of the CNMI Supreme Court, Tenorio versus Supreme Court. Since retiring from the bench, Chief Justice de la Cruz has continued to contribute to the CNMI by serving as a delegate in the 1995 Constitutional Convention and has authored 2 books, From Colonialism to Self-Government, The Northern Marianas Experience, and the Fundamental Issues Affecting the Northern Mariana Islands. Here to unveil the portrait are Chief Justice de la Cruz himself and his daughter Roxanne Vanessa Sablon de la Cruz. So we'll next move to the second Chief Justice of the CNMI Supreme Court, Chief Justice Marty W.K. Taylor, who served as Chief Justice from 1995 until 1998. Prior to becoming Chief Justice Taylor served as Associate Judge of the Superior Court from 1989 to 1995. In addition to being a judge and justice, Chief Justice Taylor helped shape the jurisprudence of the CNMI as a public defender, legal counsel to the Civil Service Commission and the Micronesian Claims Commission, as well as served as the chairman of the Commonwealth Law Revision Commission. Chief Justice Taylor's contributions to the legal field did not end at the borders of the CNMI, but were felt throughout Micronesia, as his service as a judge pro tem for the Guam Superior Court and president of the Pacific Judicial Council. Chief Taylor was known for his kindness and generosity to everyone, as well as his great sense of humor. We wish Chief Justice Taylor was here with us today to witness the unveiling of this portrait in his honor, but we are grateful to have his son and daughter-in-law here today with us. So here to unveil this portrait are Chief Justice Taylor's son, Anthony Taylor, and his wife, Jessica Taylor. Our next unveiling is the portrait of the third Chief Justice of the CNMI Supreme Court, Chief Justice Miguel S. Demopon. Chief Justice Demopon served as Chief Justice from 1995 until 2011. Before being appointed as Chief Justice, he served as an Associate Judge of the Superior Court from 1992 to 1998, and as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court from 1998 to 1999. One of the hallmarks of Chief Justice Demopon's contributions to the legal landscape of the CNMI was to push home foreclosure cases into mediation rather than the courts. Much like Chief Justice Taylor before him, Chief Justice Demopon shaped the jurisprudence of Micronesia by serving as a judge pro tem and justice pro tem for the Superior and Supreme Courts of Guam, respectively, while also being a member and president of the Pacific Judicial Council. We wish Chief Justice Demopon was here with us today to witness the unveiling of this portrait in his honor, but we are grateful to have his children here with us today, including his daughter, who continues her father's footsteps as an Assistant Attorney General. Here to unveil the portrait of Chief Justice Demopon are his children, Michael and Franny Demopon. And finally, we will unveil the portrait of the current and fourth Chief Justice of the CNMI Supreme Court, Chief Justice Alexander C. Castro. Chief Justice Castro has served as Chief Justice since 2012, and prior to serving as Chief Justice, he served as an Associate Judge of the Superior Court from 1989 to 1993, before becoming Presiding Judge from 1993 to 1998. Finally, before becoming the current Chief Justice Castro served as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court from 1998 to 2012. Chief Justice Castro's contributions to the Commonwealth exceed the halls of the Guma Justicia through his service as the first indigenous Attorney General of the CNMI and the establishment of the Attorney General's Cup speech competition. Here to unveil this portrait is Chief Justice Castro himself and his granddaughter Carmelita. Thank you. Could I just have one more round of applause for all the Chief Justices and their contributions?
Thank you, Matt. As you can see, the portraits are being brought to the front of the courtroom. They will be displayed in the vestibule, all the 4 portraits, in addition to the current Supreme Court Justice's portrait. The Superior Court judge's photo will be displayed upstairs in their chambers, along with the new Superior Court seal. And now we proceed to the third part of our program, which is quite a big event for us, because we will review the history of this court from the Spanish era to May 17, 2024. We're all excited about this third segment of our program. So please, on your way out, the justices will lead, and then everybody will follow us, and you will see the 4 Chief Justices' portrait. I think we might have to call that the Chief Justices' Hall now. We'll see. Okay, thank you very much for being here today.
All rise.
This special proceeding of the Commonwealth Courts is now adjourned. Please proceed after the bench to the atrium for the ribbon cutting portion of today's ceremony.
promise this is my last statement for timeline. Jim Stoll, the Executive Director of the Northern Maryland Judiciary Historical Society, speaks. I would like to acknowledge the designers behind this exhibit, and they are Law Clerk Paige Lehman. Paige, can you please come up here? And Josephine Estrada, she is my. So, also we have Mrs. Linda Concepcion Torres. I believe she's in Honolulu for her daughter's graduation, but she is she came up with a concept and the design for this exhibit. So thank you, Linda, who is in Honolulu. We also have McCoy from Ideal Science. He's a co-designer. McCoy. So, thank you very much. And with Linda Torres, we have Diego Palacios, Diego, and Murdy Connie. Please come up here. We are partnering with, of course, HPO. Okay, so Jim Stoll, the Executive Director of the Historical Society, our organization that provided the fund, will now give us a brief history of the judiciary.
Thank you, Your Honor, and good morning, everybody. Hafaday. Today is a significant moment as we continue to celebrate the 35th anniversary milestone. Thanking Judiciary for the challenges. In order to appreciate how far we've come, we must flip through. Our story begins in the Spanish era of 1676, when the first governors assumed control. During this era, laws changed oversight. It was the reforms of the 1880s where we begin to see the establishment of a public jail, prosecutor, judicial buildings, and the judge on Guam that had jurisdiction over the Northern Mariana Islands. The transfer of control from the Spanish to the Germans caused a shift towards a more. The German administration In 1844, the American Navy quickly created a three-tier system of United Nations trusteeship. Now you tell me. A pivotal moment in our story occurred in 1947 when the Northern Marianas joined the Trust Territory of the Pacific Islands. The court system of the Trust Territory was also organized into three tiers, with a High Court, the Marianas District Court, being located here on Saipan in 1962. By 1978, through the ratification of the NMI Constitution and the passage of the Commonwealth Trial Court Act, the Commonwealth Judiciary was born as one court and limited jurisdiction. A decade later, the Judiciary Reorganization Act in 1989 brought into existence the Supreme Court and Superior Court, allowing the Commonwealth to gain the exclusive jurisdiction of all cases. The courts then became constitutional in 1997 by legislature initiative and finally reviewable only by the U.S. Supreme Court in 2004 because of Section 403 of the Covenant. Page by page, chapter by chapter, the judiciary today lies our commitment access to justice, marked by increased frequency in community outreach programs and adaptation to the modern world by means of new technology, social media, and electronic case management systems. We have forged new specialized treatment courts, constructed updated facilities, overcome calamity, survived a pandemic, increased our digital presence, and continue to operate despite the threats of a declining economy. This timeline, which is a testament to our progress, has been installed in commemoration of the 35th anniversary of the judiciary. We celebrate 35 years not only because of the amount of progress we have made over those years, but also because we are a judiciary itself made up of 3 justices and 3 judges. This project would not be possible without the help of the Judiciary Historical Timeline Project Committee members, Justice Manglonia, Judge Kim Tenorio, Law Clerks Paige Limon, Judicial Assistant Josephine Estrada, and Linda Torre's conception of the Historic Preservation Office. The Department of Corrections and several others of the Judiciary combined to help the project. We hope the future years will continue the Historian Hustisia, the story of justice in the Northern Mariana Islands. At this point, I believe we're going to come forward. Where's our director? Which way do you want him to flow? This way. The judges are here.